Hello again. Now, Rahima Moosa's hospital's Dr. Tim de Meyer has had his suspension lifted. That was last week. But he's now facing a disciplinary hearing that could see him fired. The South African Medical Association has expressed its outrage at this development. I'm joined now by the organization's board member, Dr. Mark Human. Dr. Human, good afternoon. It just seemed just like the other day when there was a lot of sigh of relief by your peers and colleagues by the fact that Dr. Meyer's suspension was lifted, he was allowed back to work. And now this situation that he's facing a disciplinary hearing. How come?
Good afternoon, Dan, and thank you, and good afternoon to your viewers as well. Yes, indeed, it's really quite a shocking situation, and clearly the Rahima Moosa leadership, as well as the leadership of the Gauteng Department of Health, have decided to press ahead with some kind of a disciplinary proceeding. This against someone who ostensibly was just stating the facts. He didn't make anything up. He didn't deliberately cause outrage or inflammation. He was stating the facts after 5 years of repeatedly going backwards and forwards to the Department of Health with one problem after another and not finding any joy. And so eventually you must understand the courage it takes for a leading pediatrician or any doctor, in fact, who to come out in the media openly against their employer. It's literally like shooting both of your feet.
Yeah,
so
this is very odd. Yeah, just from the outside. I mean, when somebody over 5 years has been going through this, and he's a professional, and he didn't call for a revolution, he didn't call for an attack on anybody. He just highlighted the issues. He was suspended, and then the MEC for Health in Gauteng intervened. The suspension was lifted, and now he's facing disciplinary hearing. One would have thought the focus would be on fixing the problems.
Absolutely. The focus should, of course, be on fixing the problems. The interesting thing is that no one is prepared to put their hand up as to where exactly the suspension order came from. It definitely did not come from the CEO. It came from above the CEO. So there are some ironies in the MEC stepping in to fix the situation, because we don't know where the suspension order came from, but it was above the CEO's level. And certainly for the CEO to call someone like Tim de Meyer to book for something like this, when actually she is the one responsible for running this hospital. She is the one responsible for looking after all the various problems that have fallen through the cracks over the last few years. If anyone should be brought to book, it is her, as our press statement says.
Do you think this is a vindictive move by the hospital management?
I think it's a move in an attempt to silence what is a growing discontent in the healthcare fraternity, doctors, nurses, everyone across the board in the state sector, especially in Gauteng province, where mismanagement seems to be, we literally have become almost the poster child for mismanagement of a state health sector. And I think that they are worried that more people are going to speak out. Lots and lots of things have come to light over, especially the last year, probably triggered by the Charlotte Maxeke hospital fire and inefficiencies at Baragwanath Hospital as well. And so there have been a load of things highlighted, and the way we understand it, several of the high officials in the Department of Infrastructure and Development for Gauteng are currently suspended. Now, understand that the DID actually owns and runs all of these hospitals, maintains the hospitals, not the Department of Health. So I think there's a huge can of worms that's busy being opened at the moment, and this is just an attempt to try and silence the media from highlighting to the public just in how much danger they are attending some of these healthcare facilities.
So what do you think SAMA is needed now in relation to this matter with Dr. de Meyer, who's now facing this disciplinary process that might end up ending up with his dismissal if it progresses in that direction? What would you, as SAMA, like to see happening now?
I think there needs to be an independent oversight committee that has a major relook at most of what is going on in Gauteng Provincial Health at the moment. It certainly would appear, and SOM is not the only organization saying this. The Defend Our Democracy campaign, the Progressive Health Forum, the Cancer Forums, the Treatment Action Campaign, the Section 27, all of them have said the same thing. The Department of Health for Gauteng seems to lack capacity at the highest level because these problems have been going on for at least 14 years now. It's been getting worse for 14 years. So when will it turn around? There needs to be some independent oversight because they clearly cannot sail their own ship at the moment.
So Sama believes as well that Dr. De Meyer must be reinstated without any conditions, and that this disciplinary process must be dropped?
Yes, indeed, and that any whistleblower, the rights of any whistleblower should be entrenched. The whole Life is Said Ameni thing comes to mind. The judge was very harshly critical of healthcare workers, doctors and nurses not coming forward earlier. And the reason for that is because people feared censure, just as what's happened to De Meyer now.
Okay, thank you very much for your time, Dr. Mark Human, a board member of the South African Medical Association.